Hey everyone, it's me, Mitch from the editing bay. I talk about people getting along in this video, and I neglect to mention the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine and every other global conflict that is happening. And I say that intentionally because I want to spend a longer time talking about it. And I obviously struggle with where my opinion matters in this conversation, but part of it also comes from saying something is better than saying nothing. So this isn't me avoiding a lot of the global issues. It's me intentionally wanting to spend more time talking about it later. So thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Mwah. Oh, you are in for a treat. Welcome back to my channel. Here's a special gift for you and a special guest. Look at her, little kitten. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I use this channel to talk to myself, to you. And my name is Mitch. And sometimes I talk to these little kitties as well. But when they're not here, I'll happily. What? Yeah. What's up? You are so, you going down? This is a daily occurrence now. What do you, so I think today, today. I'll scooch it a little closer. Yeah, do you, okay. So, today, why can't we all just get along? It's such a cliche saying, I know, but I just see a lot of friction in the world in like in asinine places. I've seen, y'all have probably seen a lot of this stuff with Trisha Paytas being on Rainn Wilson's podcast, you know? Wow. A phrase 2024 bingo right there. Apparently, I haven't even watched it. I've only seen a clip or two, and apparently there's just like a lot of shade being thrown at Trisha from Rainn Wilson. And it got me thinking because I think a lot of internet personalities and a lot of like YouTubers get a bad rap from film and TV actors because of the craft or because of this feeling of deservedness, I guess. I'm distracted by this cat. Come here. Yeah. This feeling of deservedness, you know? And so it's this question to me of who deserves it or like who deserves fame and who deserves accolades, but also it's like the pot calling the kettle black because regardless of what you think of artistry and what you think an artist does in the world that we currently occupy, a huge swath of art is simultaneously for entertainment. And so it's the question that I ask myself, both as someone who makes this and consumes it, of how can I elide more between the two? Like, right, you know, like how can I make art that's more entertaining and how can I consume entertainment that's more artistic or more artsy? And art is in the eye of the beholder, I know, because it's subjective. And that's my favorite thing about art, truly, is that it is 100% subjective. I will have an opinion on art that will be my own and completely different from yours. And that doesn't devalue each one or the other. I think maybe where the perspective of judgment comes from for people is education, right? It says education behind this thing of I've trained and worked in this craft for so long that I now have this opinion that's backed up by history. But I don't know it. But to use the history that I do know, which is just like the history of acting and the history of performing arts in the world, there's always been this presumed hierarchy where it's opera singers were better than theater actors, and dramatic theater actors were better than comedy theater actors, and then theater actors were better than film actors because it was the new thing, and then film actors were better than TV actors, and always there was that precedent of drama over comedy. And then now it feels like film actors and TV actors are more interested or more judgmental of internet personalities because of this feeling of deservedness or this feeling of work or this feeling of effort, when the internet is the grand equalizer in the world right now, especially because I can make a video in my own room, and that could potentially reach a multitude of people. I won't specify my numbers because my numbers are growing. But this feeling now that because everyone has the capability to go viral, it's maybe not as special anymore. Everyone has this capability to become reputable, maybe, or maybe it's this like false equation of equating fame and reputation, or something that is reputable because many people know about it. But at the same time, that's also this feeling of like hoity-toity art junk, where the esoteric stuff is more successful, or the esoteric stuff is more artistic because it has this threshold. You have to understand a certain amount of things to then get it. So very hipster. When the internet is just like, you get it if you get it or you don't, or you can find a place where people also get this stuff too. And then where is this judgment of success from quantity, or a quantitative place? If 10 million people see your movie, does it make it worse than something that only 10,000 people saw? And that's equal parts philosophy, equal parts business or capitalism, especially in the world we live in now, where a lot of this stuff, and especially in AI, it's this forced growth. We are going to get in and force growth so that things can improve. Or the again, the unfair equation that growth equals quality. Because something's constantly growing, that means it's constantly getting better. But I don't know if that's always true. Something growing and gaining more access doesn't necessarily mean it's always good. Especially, there are just finite resources in the world for this kind of stuff. I think what makes art and what makes humanity interesting to me is this crossover between the limitless access to artistry and imagination we have inside of us that is unlimited and has no limits, confronting the limitations of nature, or the limitations of the world that we live in, or the limitations of access. And I think that that's kind of a cool, come on baby, come on up, come on up, come on, come on up, jump, come on up, jump, do it, you can do it, you can do it, beep, bop, boop, coming for you. This limitation of access that we may have that does create barriers. And I like to think of barriers as like riverbanks, where we can go further and more powerfully when we have these certain limitations, because it forces this creativity of constraint. And I think that my opinion on AI is that it is a tool, and that as like any other type of tool, it can be used in whatever capacity it can be. But where I get hung up on it is this promise of unlimited creative freedom. And I think just because something is unlimited, it doesn't mean that it's good. I like having limitation, and this is, I think, why, or how I really felt. Oh, kicked the tripod. Kicked it. I kicked the tripod so like a Nazi little one. The tripod. This is you get me, right? This feeling where no, we have it. I've got it. access constraint. That's why I really like, or why I fell in love and how I fell in love with theater, is because it is one of the styles of performing arts that have a lot of constraints behind it. One of those constraints being this weird combination, because it isn't dance and it isn't opera, so there isn't that automatic suspension of disbelief or this automatic separation of things, because I know that I don't sing an aria in my day-to-day life. But theater is a little bit more reflective of the human condition or the human experience, because it's these at times mundane scenes. And so, how do these mundane scenes create this suspension of disbelief? Because if I'm watching like a kitchen sink drama, fancy talk for a very small scale drama that happens inside of a kitchen, right? Or like a family drama kind of thing. It's easy for me to believe this to be truth. And because I believe it to be truth, I then create a higher threshold of what I deem good, because this is my real life. And I'm looking at the theater in my real life. And so then there's that constraint of having to suspend that disbelief in order to believe what I'm seeing, because everyone in the room knows that it's fake. And that's what I love. And is creating these containers is a phrase that will be bounced around a lot. And what can you create inside those containers? And I don't think it's a necessarily foreign concept or too wild of an idea to really get behind, because I think of the large collider, Hadra Halabaga Collider. Wait for it. Wait, we've got this. Down Hadron. It is the Hadron Collider. No, the large. Ha! 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 Yes! I was right. The Large Hadron Collider is this thing that just shoots atoms at each other in order to generate like a black hole or something. Whatever. I don't know. Science. I don't know your science. What? The Large Hadron. Hadron, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Just, running into things today. This is terrible. Large Hadron Collider shoots little molecules at each other in order to generate small versions of like the Big Bang, or small versions to then create black holes, or these small sort of scientific experiments for these grand, massive cosmic phenomenon. A feminine, a feminine. But those constraints exist. Those constraints happen, and because the constraints of those, we're able to experiment because of those constraints. But if we just try to measure them in nature, it becomes very difficult to measure. And I think that's the same with art, is that barriers and containers create momentum to then drive something forward, to then create ultimately like better and good ideas, I think. Like, seriously, I don't. This is Mitch. They are continuing to speak without knowing that their audio has stopped recording. Only now do they realize that folly. I was in the zone. I was in the zone. I was flowing. I was going. I had all these great ideas coming out. I look over, and it had stopped recording. Isn't that just dandy? I've had a kind of day like that. Okay, no, I'm going to finish this and then go to that. Momentum creates better ideas, and containers are important to then generate good ideas. And that, I think, is the healthy aspect of capitalism, is that because there is that competition, we all then the golden rule, or like the golden perspective of what capitalism could have been, or the lie that we're told, is that it's like, yeah, competition breeds progress, because we're all working against each other to see who has the best idea. So we're all working to get better and better and better ideas. And then there's this division, especially amongst artists, of my style of art is the best. And I think you have to have that perspective when you participate in art. And I think we all participate in art in one capacity or another. And I think part of that belief is so that you believe in what you're doing, because conviction is so powerful. And conviction is what I think drives a lot of art to be very good. Because I'd rather watch a project or watch something that someone made that they believe in versus something that was made half-heartedly. And I think everyone agrees with me. Well, and this is the other beautiful thing that I like about theater is it's ephemeral. It is a pocket in time of everyone in that room sharing an experience, and that experience will never happen again. Even though the show will happen the next night, hopefully, it won't be the same because the people will be different, circumstances will be different. It's so dependent upon so many other things that it's just wild at times that it can happen. And that's what I love about it. And I think that's what I love about film too, is that it is quite literally a small village to make a film, and the probability of a film being made is so small. So something being made is incredible. Even these sort of like big budget, multi-million dollar, big production studio films, it's still kind of incredible that these are being made. And it's so many more departments working together with effects and production and talent and this belief, and so this belief in what we do, creating that conviction, and conviction being so much more interesting. Done. It's been a bizarre day. I was supposed to have a date tonight, which was going to be exciting, but they canceled on me. And I'm not holding it against them at all. Be it true, be it false, what they told me with their reasons why, I choose to believe them because it just makes my life less painful. Delusion be praised if I am delusional. But it's third time with this person. And so it's hard, I think, because it just doesn't feel good ultimately, and not holding it against them at all, truly, like not even just saying that to be like to have the nice perspective of like, yeah, I'm easy for you to, yeah, hey, it's so chill, man, you can do nothing, man, it's all good, yeah, we'll hang out next time, it's totally fine, rain check, I'll bring my coat. I truly am not holding it against them because I think that works better for me to let it go if I hold on to it. And maybe I do hold on to it and I'm just lying to myself. But again, delusion be praised. So, yeah, it's just like this disappointing. And then coming into filming this, I didn't feel like it because of that disappointment. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know. So many things have changed for me in the past 6 months that when I heard about this happening for other people, of like, yeah, man, my life completely, this is a story all about how my life got flipped. Stop it. Get my wife. When I've heard about this happening to other people in their lives, like I believe them because I believe people's experiences, but I'm just like, what does that even look like or feel like? And now that I'm in the thick of it, it's kind of just in my better moments and in my good days, I'm like, all right, I'll ride this wave, man. Okay, what's another one? And then in my not so great moments, it can be easy to just feel bogged down by all the changes. Change is always going to happen in one point, in multiple points in our lives, no matter what. And there's no way to really gauge or to know. And those who fail to plan to fail. Whatever. But there's no way to really know when these things can happen. And you can never really plan for like tectonic life shifts. You just can't. And it's easier said than done, I know, to accept them with grace. And of course, some are objectively more intense than others and more stressful. And so it's like, what do you do? Or what do I do in this time where it feels like it's so tumultuous and so much of my life can be easily just like chalked up to defeatist or have this defeatist mindset of, sure, what's one more change? Of course. Why not? Yeah, just run me over while you're at it. Yeah, this feeling of surrender is my aspiration. It's tough, really. Like it's easy to understand and it's tough to implement because to surrender means to admit that I don't have control. I don't have as much control as I expected or believed. And so what do I do aside from roll with the punches? I don't know. Yeah. But I don't want to be defeated, I don't think it's defeating. It's disheartening at times. And again, at my worst, it's easy to believe nothing good will come of it or nothing good will happen or just not to accept any good that is coming my way because of that. And I think a part of that is like a desire for stability and not even the financial stability, which I think a lot of us crave, especially right now, but this emotional stability and like social stability and being able to rely on friends and being able to rely on myself. And I think so much of that change can really cause internal chaos of like, what do I trust? Who do I trust? Can I trust? Am I supposed to trust? Am I just supposed to be this hermit that lives in the woods and just doesn't trust anybody? I feel like that at times. I feel like that would be cool, but I hate bugs. And so I feel like it would run its course very quickly. I've started doing tarot. Oh, tarot. And it's cool. I like it. I don't read for other people. I only read for myself because I'm a selfish. And I like that it's a container. It's a container to provide pathways to answering questions. Because part of this whole like change in my life over these past 6 months, 8 months is this year, really, is so many questions left unanswered or so many big questions that I have to ask and then now have to find those answers and not knowing where to begin or not knowing how to start or not knowing how to progress. And so, yeah, I like that this tarot provides containers. Shameless plug for the Container Store. But ultimately, containers aren't bad. Containers are pathways for momentum, tools for momentum and progress. And yeah, I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you. I'm starting to practice, or I am saying it out loud. I'm going to practice more gratitude in my life, and I want to thank you for that. And that's all. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ta-ta. You want to say something? You all done?